Ladies, I can bet on this, that what I'm about to tell you, most women don't want you to hear it. Well, it's actually a secret that only a few women will sincerely admit to. But frankly speaking, ask any woman who's been truly, deeply, happily married for years, and she'll tell you the same thing. She'll tell you she almost missed him. Because here's the truth most women won't admit. The men who feel the most exciting at the start, the ones who make your heart race and your phone feel like a bomb you're waiting to go off, they are very rarely the men who make the best husbands. And the men who feel calm, steady, maybe even a little predictable at first, those are usually the ones who build the kind of love that actually lasts. Now, before you click off, stay with me, because by the time we're done here, you're going to understand something about yourself and your attraction patterns that most people spend their entire dating life never figuring out. Let's start with a truth that stings a little. Most women don't fall for intentional, shy, boring men. They fall for dopamine. And for clarity's sake, dopamine is the chemical in your brain responsible for anticipation, for novelty, for that electric feeling of not knowing what comes next. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Dopamine has nothing to do with love, nothing to do with safety, nothing to do with the kind of bond that holds a marriage together when life gets hard. It's just an excitement. So when a man is inconsistent, hot one day, cold the next, texting at midnight on a Tuesday, then goes into ghost mode for the next 3 days, your brain doesn't register that as a red flag. It registers it as a reward that hasn't arrived yet. And your brain will work overtime chasing that reward. That's not chemistry, that's a loop, and loops are addictive. This is why the man who texts sporadically feels more intense than the man who texts when he says he will. Not because he's more invested, not because he cares more, because your brain is chasing the next hit. So let's talk about chemistry for a second, because people get this wrong all the time. That instant spark, that rush, that I feel like I've known him my whole life feeling on the second date, that is not love recognizing love. That is your nervous system being activated by something familiar, and familiar doesn't always mean healthy. Sometimes familiar means this pattern feels like home because I've been here before. Men who feel exciting early on create emotional spikes. One day he's warm, present, giving you everything. The next day he's distant, distracted, barely there. And your brain starts doing what brains do, asking questions. What did I do? What changed? How do I get him back to the good version of him? And just like that, your brain is now working for him, investing in him, building attachment, not because the connection is real, but because the uncertainty is. Now, contrast that with the man people call boring. He texts when he says he will, he shows up when he makes a plan, his mood toward you doesn't flip based on whatever's happening in his head that day. His affection is consistent, and your brain barely reacts. Not because he's less valuable, but because there's no anxiety, no anticipation spike, no chase. And for a brain that has been conditioned to emotional highs and lows, calm feels suspicious, steady feels flat, and that is how women walk past the best thing that could have happened to them. Here's the part that actually matters. Dopamine is excitement, it's a spark, it's the butterflies, but oxytocin, which is the bonding chemical, that's trust, that's safety, the feeling of being fully yourself around someone without bracing for what mood they're in today. You cannot build a marriage on dopamine, you just can't. Eventually, the highs stop being as high, the nervous system gets exhausted, the chase stops feeling romantic and starts feeling exhausting. And that's when people look at each other and say, I don't know what happened, we just fell apart. No, your brain stopped getting its chemical high, that's what happened. Boring men don't spike your nervous system, they regulate it. And over time, slowly, quietly, regulation turns into something dopamine never could. Real attachment, the kind that doesn't disappear when he's having a hard week, the kind that deepens when life gets difficult instead of crumbling under the weight of it. Intensity is not intimacy, chaos is not passion, and stability, real stability, is not settling. It is the foundation that love actually needs to grow. If you keep choosing the spike, calm will always feel like something is missing. Different man, same roller coaster. And at some point you have to ask yourself, is this chemistry or is this just a pattern I keep repeating? Butterflies fade, peace compounds. So now the real question is, how do you spot the boring man who is actually the best man? Because here's what women usually mean when they say a man is boring. They don't mean he has no depth. They don't mean he has nothing interesting to say. They mean he doesn't create chaos. He doesn't keep them guessing. He doesn't spike the dopamine. And because of that, he gets dismissed, sometimes within the first 20 minutes of a conversation. But here's the irony. The men who don't spike the dopamine are usually the ones who have the most of what actually matters: emotional control, internal discipline, a stable sense of who they are. These men don't need drama to feel alive. They don't perform intensity. They just show up, quietly, consistently. And quiet is very easy to misread. Now, and this matters, there is a difference between a boring man who is high value and a boring man who is simply going nowhere. Calm is not apathy. Steady is not lazy. The man you want is consistent because he's regulated, not because he has no drive. So let's talk about what he actually looks like. His words and his behavior match every time. No grand speeches, no emotional promises made at 2 a.m. that disappear by Thursday. If he says he'll call, he calls. If he says he'll show up, he's already there. This doesn't make your heart race, it makes you trust him. And trust, built slowly and consistently, is what makes a marriage feel like safety rather than survival. He stays grounded when things get difficult. He doesn't explode. He doesn't go cold and punish you with silence. He doesn't turn a disagreement into a referendum on your entire relationship. He stays in the room, emotionally, not just physically, and works through it. That is not a small thing. That is one of the rarest things a man can offer, and it is gold inside a marriage. His life already has structure. He's not a project. He has routines, responsibilities, direction, not because he's showing off, but because that's just how he lives. This man doesn't look thrilling on Instagram. He looks stable in real life, and real life is where you'll actually spend your marriage. He doesn't make you anxious about where you stand. You're not decoding texts, you're not reading into his tone, you're not lying awake at night trying to figure out if he still likes you. There's clarity. And here's the thing about clarity. It gives attraction room to grow slowly instead of burning itself out on anxiety. Now here's the part most women miss, and it's important. Attraction to a stable man is often delayed. It doesn't arrive in a rush on the first date. It builds quietly, because your nervous system needs time to stop scanning for danger before it can actually feel what's in front of it. And when the anxiety finally drops, when your body isn't in that constant state of low-grade alert, you start noticing different things. His presence, his consistency, the way he makes you feel about yourself when you're around him. It usually goes something like this. First, it's, he's nice, but I don't feel it. Then, a few weeks later, I actually really enjoy talking to him. Then, I miss him when he's not around. And then, one day, without even realizing it, I don't want anyone else. That's oxytocin, slower than dopamine, but so much stronger. So stop asking, do I feel excited? Start asking, do I feel like myself? Do I feel calm after spending time with him? Am I less anxious the longer I know him, or more? Because excitement spikes and fades. What you're actually looking for is something that compounds. Here's the final truth, and I want you to really sit with this. Life gets hard. Bills pile up, careers stall, health scares arrive, routine sets in. The man who built his entire appeal on being exciting, on being unpredictable and intense and impossible to pin down, collapses under the weight of all of that. Because real life doesn't need a performer, it needs a partner. The man who knows how to create stability becomes more attractive over time, not less. That's why so many women eventually say, I didn't know what I had until it was gone. You're not broken if calm feels unfamiliar. You're just wired to a loop that never was going to give you what you actually wanted. But once your nervous system learns what peace feels like, really feels like, chaos stops looking like passion,
and the man who just quietly shows up every single day starts to look like exactly what he always was, the one worth keeping. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever walked away from a boring man and later realized what you left behind? Or are you currently in that place right now, trying to figure out if what you feel is real or just familiar? Tell me your story. I read every single comment, and I want to know where you are in this. This is Love Breed, and around here, in everything we do, we let love breed. See you in the next one.